difficult time getting through to that flying machine. The thing is, the Insane right now is really letting IMGP control the pace of the game. Let's see if the Lava Hounds on the right-hand side can change that.
And there you go, straight fireball on the flying machine, no risks. They're trying to get value on the tower as well. Just one of that one off the board, even 4 corners. Whoa, that's a nice fireball, but the problem is the fireball actually pushed the Hunter away from the fire, which is the target that Lindsay was going for. So I really like what he had in store, what he had planned there. It didn't actually work out the way he'd like. Baby Dragon to pick up the magic archer and knock that machine on the field. Princess Tower on the right-hand side. As we go, he's done that overtime. The lead still held by JP, but as my co-caster is saying, not as much awaits.
Yeah, really nice heal spirit from IMGP. Keeps that magic archer alive, then forces out the high fireball from Lindsay, which you see 468 on the tower. Fisherman going right on through. IMGP staying very aggressive, which is what he needs to do, because now the Goblin Cage is out of cycle, and the Hog should be back in soon.
4-2 split in front of the Hunter this time, trying to clog a bit and catch a minor hit that comes in, but not going to happen. And this is a much better fireball. Does not get the magic archer off the board, which means they really would have liked. And so now JP able to set up a much more powerful defense to should protect this magic archer. There you go with the final.
Yeah, pick your poison type. You go for the Hunter that's on the Lava Hound, or you go for the magic archer to give you more problem down the road. And Lindsay decides to go with the Lava Hound, but then the magic archer was there. Look at that geometry, not going to work because of the Fisherman.
Just slightly off here. Dark Prince has to get picked up high by IMJP. Final minute of sudden death, overtime, 3:24 remains. Fireball cycle starts in mid 152 on the right-hand side. JP just has to play defense and get back around one more time.
Yeah, log should be coming out now, but there's the fireball. He skips the log, goes to the Heal Spirit. IMJP takes 2 in a row. This is exactly what Dignitas wanted to avoid.
Yeah, I mean, this is huge. This is absolutely huge. JP now, even on the season, 4-4, back to a 50% win rate as well. You can see JP pumped up right there. Has not really had the success he's been looking for so far this season, and coming up huge with their team down a set. Massive for both the cheesy ones and JP.
That's been a struggle for IMJP. This season and last season, 25% last season, 50% this season in head-to-head win rate, breaking his overall record to 44%. But this is exactly the turnaround we need. The sample size of the last 2 seasons is pretty small in consideration. You talk about the games he's played, but these are the things that get so excited for. Picking up big wins, taking it in.
When you needed someone to take a little bit of pressure off of Ruben, you see JP. No risk there, and that's actually a big difference for IMGP, the fireball, the offensive direction that you were talking about, pushing the Hunter away. So that whole exchange that we just watched on replay, Andrew, really big for JP. And the thing I wanted to know, you pointed out that fireball, how it didn't do what Lindsay wanted. I'm more impressed by JP not going for damage, just making sure that flying machine was off the board, because it seems like that's out of character for JP, as we talked about, being more of a home run hitter rather than a guy who goes for a couple of small shots to get closer to the finish line.
And he did that a handful of times in these games where he decided to sit back and play patiently. The first game was such a great example of going, I've got a good condition in Graveyard. I could overwhelm him, and I could probably pull the trigger here and there and maybe take the power. But I 100% will win if I just sit back, get those bar cuts on the board, cycle Graveyard if I have a moment, but more to be about the spell power and playing defense. So in both game 1 and game 2, JP being really, really great at practicing his patience, which is a really scary thing. Talk about a home run hitter that's going to wait for the first pitch. That's IMJP.
Yeah, it's so interesting. We talked about his boomer bust gameplay style, and today maybe he doesn't get the focusing on that. I'd be curious to see if the coaches or the team has any comment on that after the matches are over today. That maybe focusing more on patience and just playing controlling Clash Royale rather than going for the big flashy moves and the things they've done to adjust to get JP playing at the level he knows he can. So now Dignitas is in a really, really tough spot. They got to take down IMJP, Ruben, and Kuchu 1, 2, 3, and then go back and win a best 2 of 3 against Ruben. It feels like the tides have drastically changed over the last couple of games. Yeah, I mean, look, at this point, do I think Bale's going to reverse sweep King and Hill here? Probably not. It's very unlikely. It's a possible yes.
I think that's a really, really important thing to focus on, and I really hope that these coaches echo that sentiment to them. Go out and have fun in this King of the Hill. We don't expect you to win 3 in a row. If you do, holy moly, thank you so much. But let's
Skeleton barrel into the right-hand side, double bait for Bale. And JP going back to Graveyard one more time. Andrew, we saw how Skeleton Barrel Mortar fared against this Graveyard deck in game number 1. Very curious to see if there's a similar tune here in game number 3 for IMJ. So no bar putt on the late end. Here we go. Now cycle down for IMJP. Fireball and take care of the unit on the left-hand side. First 90 seconds away. And so far, Bale with the lead. Does have a few different ways to control the double bait play of Bale between the bar putt with Wiz and, of course, the bar burying barrel. So we choose to go ahead and most likely Wiz or bar barrel. Here it goes with a completely different setup, maybe trying to go for a graveyard push on the counter here, recognizing that his opponent has some of his control at the bridge out of cycles. There we go, Baby Dragon across. Gonna have to do something about this bar barrel, but a healthy Baby Dragon now on power in the opposite direction of the Goblin Barrel. So instead of turning it into a counter push, just goes ahead and gets some damage on that side, doesn't really take control of the Goblin Barrel, and now just like that, Bale's the lead.
Alright, I'm sorry, technical difficulties. I am here. I'm very excited to see this double bait deck back again. We did see it with Royal Ghost last week, or a different version of Bait, but this was pretty popular last season.
Yeah, I mean, double bait, obviously, both in 2v2 and 3v1, very, very popular. The Royal Ghost we saw last week, I believe, Diego B, looked super fun. You were excited about it.
Yeah, I definitely tried it out. It was harder than he made it look, but it was still a lot of fun.
High bar putt here. This is swung kind of dramatically, Andrew, towards Bale as time has gone on.
Yeah, you know, I mean, IMGP here has a good amount of responses, but with the bar barrel, if you get those tricky Goblin barrels coming out, he has missed that one Goblin a couple times. He does bring that damage in.
Skeleton Barrel in helps pop that high, so now should have the bar barrel back and ready, but goes straight on the board once again. The solo Goblin and a ton of fireball value for Bale at the bridge.
Yeah, that's really, really nicely played by Bale, getting in IMGP's head with those Goblin barrels. You really want to not have to pay extra attention to it, but Bale's doing exactly what you have to do with log bait or any really form of bait, and that's win the mental battle. So now he goes to the back, knowing that it wasn't back in cycle, to get a bait out of a different card.
So we'll see if this turns into a graveyard push, and it does. Baby Dragon gets across, but no, it's the Cubit thinking rather than the Baby Dragon, so not the exact sequence that JP was looking for. Baby Dragon, though, still alive at the moment, and that graveyard does a ton of damage, Andrew. We are almost all square in the final minute of game 1.
Yeah, Bale got too aggressive there, cycling his Dark Goblin. Now you can cycle it because Graveyard was just used, but the Dark Goblin's the best response to your opponent's graveyard. It's like far away and stay out of the poison for just a second longer, so that was a moment where Bale got too aggro with his best response, and now doing it again, will it get taken off the board?
And double drop on units here right now. JP trying to find a way to build up for one more big graveyard push. Bale setting the line high with the bomb tower high, and then look at that, the Dark Goblin mode, Poison gets all the way back. He was trying to play some defense, 285 on the left-hand side. Things getting very close here in the final 20.
2 Goblin snaps coming in, 285 in, just needs a Fireball plus block. He goes to the barrel instead. Barrel gets logged off, or bar barreled off. This is insanely close, Rich. I believe IMGP is going to take it.
Wow! I am JP, king of the hill sweep. The Vamos comes out for the golden-haired golden play for Barcelona, Spain. And Andrew, this is what we were talking about. Team Queso needed this. Totally changes the whole picture for the Chiefs.
What a tough game to lose. And that's a tilting game. You see yourself really getting in the lead. You see yourself catching your opponent out of cycle, playing very, very well. But then just that one moment of the shift. When you're playing big, you're playing those cheap decks, you can feel it shifting out of your control. IMJP found his opening and stayed relentless with those graveyards.
Yeah, shifting the way he played defense going. We saw it a few times throughout this game. Knowing he needed to go for true defense rather than spell defense, rather than using that barrel, he had to use something. I believe the last one that we saw was the knight and the mega minion to clean up on a goblin barrel to create the opportunity to push the opposite direction.
And the problem with that too is the knight's hanging right in the back. It's really, really tough there. So this is one of the pushes where Bale was really starting to feel the heat. You saw that knight in the front, skeletons in the back. There's a couple exchanges there where the baby dragon was getting really, really close, but really excellent bomb tower placement from Bale. This was taking us off the board, but IMG could just not be stopped. This bridge battle right here, that bar barrel coming in was really, really nice. You see the goblin barrel coming out in response and looking to take the W, but the E-Wiz comes in on that right-hand side. Maybe would have been better to actually drop a regular goblin barrel there.
Yeah, that's so fascinating, Andrew, to know that you have a goblin barrel coming in, but instead go bar barrel offense to support the push and create the opening needed to steal this win away. You know, we talked about the patience from JP from the first two games. Sort of the creativity and the risk-taking from JP paying off here in game number 3. Secure the sweep.
Yeah, and I like that decision making. I like that he went for the bar barrel on top of that dark goblin, because the dark goblin is the biggest threat, whether it's on the back and you have to push it out, or whether it's up front holding the line for his opponent at the river. Once that dark goblin's off the board, there's just not enough DPS to win those first battles or to clean up the skeleton on a graveyard. So really, really great recognition there from IMDb, taking and choosing how exactly he wanted to take down his opponent. And now, can Bale do what you just said? Does he have the mental fortitude? He looked pretty upset at the end of that loss to King of the Hill, which again, I think he should have just went into it going, whatever happens, happens. I'm focused on the one he won. That's what I need to do. Do you think he's tilted right now going up against Ruben?
Maybe. I mean, you can see him on the camera. He was not looking good, and now he goes up against one of the best in the entire world. You know, people talk about Ruben and Goofy as number 1 and number 2 competitively right now. Well, yeah, one of them right in front of you for a best of 3. I think that what we just saw Andrew from his emotional state, take 5% and swing that over towards Ruben now in terms of being the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, we already felt that Ruben had the advantage in the set because of how well he's been playing. He's playing against the best in the world and proved that he is S+ here. I think that the pressure here for Bale isn't going to be that big of a factor. I just think he might get outplayed. I think they've got to do exactly what you were saying, and they've got to out-analyze TKC, which is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you get Ruben in the King of the Hill, you just go for a huge snipe in a best of 3 set. I don't know. I don't think that strategy necessarily works here. It's not like you have a one and done swing for the fastest opportunity. You have to beat him twice. Maybe you can pull that off 1 time. I don't know if you can pull it off 2 times. It's going to be a very, very difficult uphill task. But we assume is going to be Bale versus Ruben.
In my mind, and I'm gonna do like a throwback to a deck. In my mind, the best type of deck for Bale to run would be that Steel Spirit Royal Giant control deck with the cast. I don't know exactly what that would be in this meta, but essentially what I'm thinking is something that has a lot of firepower, but also has very, very strong defense that you can get those bombs and delay trade out of to drop that heavy hitting position back on the board. I think if you try to go high cycle and outplay ability
for some
against
bullshit
bigger
that fucking
abilities,
says
I
something
immediately
about
see
fucking
this
Google
Barca
Play.
out of Bale. I like what I'm seeing.
And I really love seeing the Royal Ghost out of Ruben. You know, we haven't seen as much Royal Ghost as we thought we would here in CRL since the change to the hover mechanic. But seeing the Royal Ghost in here, I'm excited to see what kind of creative moments Ruben pulls out against him.
Yeah, Ruben comes for Steel Spirit and Royal Ghost. Fielded. A lot of good damage.
Poison down to support these barbarians offensively, get the Hunter off the board and a little bit more damage on the tower. Not a whole lot there. 2350 remains in the left-hand lane. First blood drawn by Bale, and Ruben cycles go to the right hand.
Bale holding for a second there. Decide whether he wants to cycle.
So it sets up teammates in the back. Ruben is tied with OP Sam for the best record on the season currently at 14-3. But he does have
Shit,
by
I
far
want.
the best record in head-to-head play at that same point.
Fuck.
Yeah, Sam definitely in my lineup. Incredible. And I believe, Christian's going to do a nice pull there. This comes down just to ensure it.
far no significant damage either direction. A very slow game to start with here in this best of 3.
Nice little sneaky bar barrel there for Ruben. I wonder if it came down a half a second later. It would have been completely ignored by the barbarian, but still getting that cut off the board was the goal. Nice pull there for this.
Yeah. And yeah, very, very nice there for the fisherman. Musketeer goes away, and boom, Archie goes to the right-hand lane.
Yeah, almost looking into the future there. I don't even know if Bale knew he was going to play the Musketeer yet. Ruben was ready for it.
And the Ghost does help get the bar putt off the board and opens up for one shot. The Royal Giant on the right-hand side. Team Queso Star takes the lead 21-08 the third 23-50.
Yeah, a really fantastic fireball there from Ruben to clean everything off the board, get a little bit more spell damage in, but most importantly, it was about the elixir that he kind of got back from that moment.
Look at that extra damage on the left-hand side. So
Nowhere
right
near
now, the
what
pressure
the fuck I
is really starting to maybe make some openings on Bale's defensive side.
Yeah, the Fisherman is one of those cards that you feel like you can just ignore, like we were saying about like true royal recruits, but that Fisherman comes in completely uncontested. He'll do a good amount of damage to those fish slaps.
First graveyard push in for Bale. It does take the lead back, but a lot on the board right now for Ruben. Arbut in response to that left-hand lane pressure.
And Rich stuff is too much on the board, but there's some interaction mistakes here, good fireball value there, dealing with the graveyard here. All of a sudden your tower is just gone by one great Royal Giant push with a bar putt completely out of sight. And one thing Bale did not do, and that was not keep his bar putts in cycle or on the board for these Royal Giants.
The Royal Ghost creates such a frustrating wrinkle in this deck, Andrew, because you saw consistently the Royal Ghost, Royal Giant push, the Royal push on the right-hand side. You have to control the Royal Ghost and deal with stopping that Royal Giant damage. And it just seemed like trying to do both of those at once was too much for Bale.
Yeah, and also the Heal Spirit worked from Ruben, whether it was just early on with that Musketeer pull, keeping those 2 units on the board. I believe it was a Fisherman and a Hunter, keeping them alive, taking the Fisherman off, or taking the Muskie off and then them splitting. Or if it was that very last Heal Spirit coming in to kind of throw that nail in the coffin. Just excellent top-of-the-line interactions from Ruben, and that's what you expect. And this is more or less what we expected out of Bale. I still think he's going to put up a good fight. I can see him taking down a game here from Ruben, but I don't know, man. It almost felt like apples and oranges in spite of how well Bale's been playing coming into this 1v1.
Well, we talked about popular picks for Fantasy Royale this weekend, and 2 popular picks were Bale and Kuchiku. And we talked already about why I didn't think Kuchiku was the greatest pick, and we're looking at why I also left Bale off of my lineup, and it's not because Bale hasn't been great so far. It's that if we get to the 1v1, which we have today, Bale ends up in a really difficult spot against Ruben, and then with Pain Gaming coming up tomorrow, no matter who his matchup is in the 1v1, it's going to be a tough one there as well.
And an important thing also to point out is that they've never done it in 2 sets. They've always gone the distance, so taking those things into account when you're setting your fantasy lineup is really, really important. So if you did set Bale in your lineup, let's see if he can bounce back here in game number 2 against Ruben, who has just been getting those crowns, stacking them all season long.
Skeleton Barrel in for Bale on the left-hand side. Snowball Archers putting up by Ruben, so looking like it might be more Skeleton Barrel for Bale. Ruben looking like graveyard potential. That's a very aggressive push on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I don't know what Bale was thinking Ruben had. I don't know. It just seemed kind of ill-advised there.
So triple spell for Ruben.
Triple spell with bar putt, going to make this bait deck really, really tough to find any success.
Yeah, it almost feels like we were talking about big when you try to snipe against Ruben. Well, I feel like Ruben maybe have done the opposite direction.
And both times we've seen this Mortar Skelly Barrel deck run from Big Boss today, they've run into bar putt plus very bad matchup, whether it was Codigo or now from Bale. Maybe just not the best deck to pull out against Team Queso.
Spear Goblin to the right-hand side as the first 80 seconds has passed. And Mortar down for Bale. Ruben controls that with a knight.
And nice skeleton barrel there to catch the baby dragon, but maybe was actually looking for the archers from Ruben. So the baby dragon here going to help clean up that barrel plus mortar.
Yeah, here, I don't think that Ruben can get to this musketeer in time. No, she's going to stay on the board. So we'll see if Ruben chooses to respond or maybe just a snowball here. There you go. Snowball does push her back out. So Ruben in pretty good control. And you talk about the cycle and making sure you always have the cards that you want. Having the triple spell here, the double small spell, does mean that Ruben, it's going to be hard to catch him out against the skeleton barrel or get a troop across the board like that because he can really rotate snowball and bar barrel for dual purposes.
Yeah, and he's just going to hold them for the purpose that he wants them to be. The bar barrel is going to be for this, the skeleton barrel there, and then now the snowball is going to be for whatever else he wants. Whether it's aggressive spear goblins, whether it's a knight plus a gang, whatever it is, he's got the spell power for it.
And right there, you see going for the spear goblins in the back, trying to open up a little bit more room for the graveyard push on the right-hand side. 19-17 remains on Bale's right-hand tower. Goes with the board to the left. Barb Hut picks it up.
And you talk about matchups. The Barb Hut is always there to catch the mortar. The triple spell is always there to deal with your bait. And then also, having that triple spell to deal with however you, as a mortar player with this deck, want to defend the graveyard. It's just a really tough spot to be in. There's no way to really defend that graveyard without giving value.
And just like we saw from JP in that first King of the Hill matchup, Andrew, notice that Ruben, I believe, has only played the one graveyard. So took a shot at it when he had a good moment, put some pressure down. But I suspect we'll see a not dissimilar approach to this one as well.
Yeah, you see there's snowball coming in the right-hand side, takes the spear goblins off the board, and gets a little bit more tower damage in.
Archer's high with the knight taken, so they can worry about that musketeer. She's going to go ahead and bar barrel the left-hand side. 1685 on the right-hand tower of Bale with 90 seconds left in sudden death.
There is actually no way for Bale to win this unless Ruben disconnects. Like, he's too good to allow him to make any connection with the mortar. He's got too many spells to ever get hit with his barrel, and then obviously still able to use that third spell for a little bit of tower damage if he needs. And you see right there, able to play the snowball and the barb barrel in sequence to take care of that defense. So poison does come in on the left-hand side. We aren't that far behind, but that one connection on the right does extend the lead for Ruben. Yeah, and Ruben's totally cool poisoning this stronger tower because he just doesn't want to have to deal with a counter push. It's not actually about the damage on the tower, it's just about dealing with the counter push. So barb barrel goes high and in the middle now. Gonna have to use something else here to go poison on defense.
And he can get back to a snowball so easily. Andrew Archer's come in to help there. Doesn't even need the snowball, goes ahead and Baby Dragon takes care of business. 1529 to 1840. They need a bit on the right-hand side. Does Ruben, but now forcing Bale to play some defense.
Yeah, that's exactly what Ruben needed to do in this moment. Bale was actually getting dangerously close to having one bad play bounce his way, and then Ruben can all of a sudden be behind on damage. So that graveyard is going to kind of ensure his victory at this point.
And this is going to be a big one. Team Queso looks like they will take control of second place on their doubleheader weekend, 4-1, with a big come-from-behind win over Dignitas. And it was 5 games in a row, the duo of IMJP and Ruben playing cleanup here for Queso.
Right now, he is just completely unstoppable. Your head-to-head star has to be playing out of their mind that they even want to compete with Ruben. And right now, no one seems to be able to do it.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It's crazy how good he is right now. Moving that record on the season up to 16-3. Did he get a stiff King of the Hill this week? No problem. Go out clean 2-0 over the rookie. And look, Andrew, before we're talking about what Bale did against those other teams, and we were talking earlier about how today might sort of be a better look at really where Bale is overall in the 1v1 rankings. And I think he kind of got a big lesson here from Ruben.
Yeah, right now it feels like maybe Javi and Ruben are the two guys to beat when it comes to head-to-head play. And I just don't know who's going to do it first. I want to see the two of them play each other.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a gem for us to watch. I mean, keep in mind, one other guy to look at in the mix, and we'll be seeing more of him later today, potentially is St. Pelican, who's
I was just going to
2-0
say
in
Belly.
Florida. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
man.
That'll be compelling to see how that one starts to play out as these teams get in the mix. And of course, when we get into the playoffs and we have those BO5s and we're seeing multiple 1v1 sets.
Yeah, and what I'm also very excited to see is when we do get into those BO5s, kind of like what happened with Tribe last season, is what happens when Ruben does just lose a set badly, right? Does he bounce back easily, or is he the type of person that gets affected by it? Tribe, it was kind of crazy to watch them go up 2 and then drop 3 in a row. Will that happen to a team like Queso, where it's just Ruben too dialed right now? More to come on that later, but whew, I just can't imagine anyone beating him at this moment. I really can't. I just want to see it happen, just to see that it is possible that Team Queso right now 4-1 locked into that number 2 spot.
Well, there's one player, and he's already done it once this season. He did it last year as well. The kryptonite for Ruben is Javi. And we've seen it happen and we saw it in 2019. We saw it happen so far this season, and it's looking more and more like we might see that showdown again in the playoffs.
So next up, it's going to be Team Liquid facing off against Tribe Gaming. Both squads kind of on a bit of a losing streak right now, although Team Liquid's is much more detrimental when you talk about playoff hopes and the playoff picture. Tribe, though, needing to bounce back after a couple rough ones.
Yeah, I mean, Tribe 3-2 on the season now. Those were rough ones. They were hard ones. But we'll see if they can get back in it here against Team Liquid. We'll be back in 5 minutes with our second matchup of the day.
No way. Oh. What's different about fucking that stream? I've been recording this whole time.